So here we have, what's his name? Andrew Huberman. This guy is only really getting clout because he's really good at jargon. Like, he uses the sexy words and people froth over that. No one really understands what he's saying, but it's like more dates, more plates. If you use that tech jargon, people just froth over it. Looking at Huberman, he does look tired. He admits he does suffer with chronic insomnia. He's dependent on stimulants, and he's shilling some brain stimulants, some supplements in this video. This video is about controlling sugar. Huberman admits he battles with weight gain. He finds it hard to be lean. He says he's never been as lean as I've been, etc. And we're going to break that down. And again, this is not a hate video. This is genuinely, I'm concerned for his health. I'm concerned he's running himself into the ground with his fear of sugar, and he's also running his audience into the ground. So he's done a whole podcast here, 2-hour podcast, just rambling on sexy jargon words, pushing some supplements, overpriced supplements that you don't even need. But it's so funny, isn't it? You know quickly that the people who push the most supplements always fear the sugar. Yeah, they're pushing uppers, they're pushing brain thinking drugs, they're pushing sleeping agents. That they just, all they have to do is just add in more sugar. Eat enough sugar, mate. If you eat enough sugar, your brain works properly. Okay, if you eat enough sugar, you can sleep at night properly. If you get enough sugar, you got energy to do things. Okay, you don't need the drugs and the supplements and the alcohol and the sleeping pills unless you're doing sugar phobia. So the thing is controlling sugar cravings. So he's setting as a premise, as a narrative that you should control sugar cravings. That sugar cravings are somehow bad. That's just pernicious belief right there. Just science-based tools, and he's just shilling product. This guy is nothing but a supplement snake oil seller. He comes across very personable. He speaks very, very well, and he talks words over the top of your head, baffles with your bullshit, so you can't question it because you look like an idiot if you try and question it because you don't understand what he's saying. So it's basically like speaking Japanese to you and you don't really understand Japanese very well at all. So you're like, okay, that person speaks fluent Japanese, I speak tourist Japanese, I'll nod my head and agree because I don't look dumb. So that's how people do it. So this guy is jacked to the hilt with stims. You can see it in his eyes. He's got that 1,000-yard stare, but yet he looks very tired. He's got bags and he's got eyelids. He also admits that he has to take testosterone because his diet's so deficient, his body can't produce testosterone properly anymore. And if he doesn't take testosterone, he's going to crash. Now, I have experience with testosterone, being natty and enhanced. I don't need to take testosterone. My diet, my protocols will let you build all the testosterone you need for daily function, all right? Now, this guy's not a bodybuilder. He's not trying to get swole and do mega doses. He's just trying to function. So his diet protocols are so poor, he can't even function without Adderall and testosterone, all right? And that's not me being mean or whatever. That's just a symptom. That's a clear symptom that if you're needing testosterone and Adderall just to function, I'm not talking like to get like a bodybuilder or whatever, or do some experimentation. I'm talking just to do day-to-day life, and and you still have your testicles intact. You didn't get them lost in a motorbike accident or whatever. That's a red flag. That's a huge red flag. So Huberman's diet, if you want to be testosterone deficient, if you want to be dependent and needing Adderall just to do basic stuff, just to get through the day, then Huberman's got some tips for you. And you're going to be on hormones for life. You're going to be on ADD medications and all this stuff you don't even need just to function. Okay, that's how deficient his protocols are. If you do I help people with ADD, etc., and they get off the medication. I've had people come with low testosterone, and their testosterone comes up, and they can get off testosterone replacement therapy. Like it's crazy, man. So these people out there, the Joe Rogan diet, this pro meat, fear carbs, fear sugar, fruit's okay but not too much. I mean, this Huberman thinks that fruit can make you obese because he's citing some studies done by Robert Lustig, who's obese himself. That's like citing financial studies of the broke guy down the road who's bankrupt and living on the street and has no money and doesn't want to live on the street. If you live on the street and you love it, that's great, you succeed. But if you live on the street and you don't want to, you can't give financial advice. I'm sorry you can't, you know. So Robert Lustig, bro, get in shape, man. Get in shape before you give advice. Huberman, like, let's see your abs, bro. I showed my abs at the start of this video, okay? If you want to be lean like me, do what I do. Don't do what Huberman does. Huberman admits he starves himself, yet he can't even be lean, okay? He looks fine. But from an athletic perspective, like if he was a cyclist or runner, I mean, his cardio is very, very poor. He says he struggles to run a mile without being gassed out. A mile gassed out. Imagine if you're imagine if you're in a street fight situation and you're gassing out. I was in a situation a couple of years ago where I was attacked from behind, taken to the ground from behind, and the guy on top of me, he was screaming. He was having a psychotic episode or just temper tantrum or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. But he was so gassed. He was so gassed out. He was just breathing, hyperventilating, trying to get his oxygen back. And I'm on the ground okay, yeah. Like, it's a good thing that, I'm not going to take this any further because it'd be trouble for you, And I don't want to get a criminal conviction. I don't want to get I don't have a civil case against me. I'll just lay here on the ground and, cover up and it'll be good. But I just remember thinking, man, like, I've just done a 100K ride with world tour, like Tour de France level cyclists, like a hard 100K in the hills ride. A reconnaissance ride where I was showing them their climbs and we were smashing it. I was out with Education First and UAE, like world-class riders, like trying to keep up with them up the hills, like dropping some of them on the climbs. When we gassed, I was dropping some of them, And then I'm in self-defense sort of, attack from behind in the ground position, and I'm thinking, I'm ready to roll. But I'm not. I'm just going to chill because I can feel it's simmering down. But imagine if you're doing Huberman's protocol and you gassed out and you have to defend yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to defend myself. It was done and dusted on the ground. Things over. But imagine if I had to defend myself. You know what I mean? Imagine that. Or I had to defend someone else. But I'm so gassed out because I was following Huberman's sugar-phobic thing. You know what I mean? Like, this could be life or death. Or someone else's life or death. So if you're following Huberman's advice, you're going to be testosterone deficient, you're going to be dependent on stimulants, and you're going to constantly, every single hour of the day, be craving sugar because you're not getting enough. And then when you have some, you'll feel guilt every single day. Is that the life quality you want? Spending hundreds to thousands of dollars a month on supplements you don't even need, taking powerful medications and drugs you don't even need. Now, if you do need them for a clinical reason, I get that. But if you're taking a drug because your diet is deficient in carbohydrate, why are you doing that? That's really, really unhealthy. That's really, really stupid. That's just my personal opinion based on 25 years as a personal trainer, training thousands of people, training some of the best physiques, the best female physiques on the planet on social media. So if you want my results, listen to me. If you want Huberman's results, where you're on drugs just to do daily life stuff, not win the Tour de France, just daily life stuff. Like, Huberman needs testosterone and stimulants just to get in his car, drive to work, sit down all day, read stuff, you know what I mean? Like, the dude's a smart dude. He's just one of those brains, He's like a full dork, a full geek, a full nerd, and that's fantastic. That's good. We need dorks and geeks and nerds, bookworms. That's not me, But that's Huberman. That's great. But he needs drugs just to function of what he's designed to do. Like, he's been gifted that bookworm brain, but he needs drugs just to make it function because his advice is so crap. It's sabotaging his own life potential and those who follow his advice. Read through the comments on this video. It makes me sad. It makes me feel distraught. And I know how many people out there will feel so bad. They're like, oh my God, Andrew, you're such a good speaker. You're so inspirational. But what's the message? Take drugs, fear sugar. And when you have a psychotic episode, take more drugs. That's not the life I want, and I hope that's not the life you want. You deserve better. Andrew Huberman deserves better.